on an all-new Dr. Phil. She was sentenced to life for murder.
You were an instrumental player in her going to prison.
Is her brother to blame?
Let me ask you something.
No, you don't ask me nothing. You're the smoking gun witness.
Let me ask you a question.
Unless you can apologize, don't ask me nothing.
Her family thinks so.
My grandmother knows the truth that she's an unbreakable-ass woman.
You won't let me talk.
Because it's pathetic.
This never ends, Dr. Phil.
You pathetic, bro.
I did not lie on you on the witness stand.
25 years later, you still the same pathetic liar.
Can I say one thing?
I've been listening to you yell for 20 minutes. So you listen to me now. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Yesterday, I sat down with Patricia, who was initially sentenced to life without possibility of parole after being convicted of murdering her husband, Jerome. Now, after spending 24 years in prison, Patricia says a miracle happened when California Governor Gavin Newsom granted her an emergency release from prison this past summer due to COVID-19. Now, Patricia and her son, Quincy, who was also Jerome's son, explained to me that Patricia never should have gone to prison to begin with. If that's true, why did she serve time for a crime they say she never committed? They claim it was because Patricia's brother, Ishmael, gave false information to the police in exchange for a shorter sentence for a completely separate crime he was charged with. Now, Patricia and Quincy faced off with Ishmael, who insisted that he never pinned anything on his sister, but instead his words were twisted by the police.
69-year-old Patricia Wright is finally out of prison after spending nearly 24 years behind bars. She's been undergoing weekly chemotherapy treatments for terminal liver cancer, which made her a higher risk for contracting coronavirus. Prosecutors argue that in 1981, she hired someone to kill her then ex-husband. Wright has maintained her innocence.
My brother Ishmael testified against me at my trial, and I was charged and convicted for a conspiracy to murder. Ishmael destroyed my life. I was taken away from my children and my entire life.
So everybody understands this was your ex-husband, and he was stabbed and killed, and you're not even sure that you were questioned at the time. Then 16 years afterwards,
Yes.
you're arrested.
I had no idea what they were talking about.
You had no idea that your brother was involved.
Not at all. Not my baby brother.
Ishmael saying that you were at the scene of the crime.
Ishmael said that I even drove the mobile home that he owned. I could never drive any kind of vehicle. I've been legally blind since the age of 17. Right now, I can't even see your face.
Trust me, you're not missing anything. What would be his possible motive?
I pondered this in my heart. Why would he? I've never done anything wrong to him.
Here's what one of her sons, Quincy, has to say.
My father was murdered when I was 3 years old, and my mother went to prison for his death when I was 19. So I only went to visit my mom 3 or 4 times while she was incarcerated. Over the years, my mom wrote to me regularly, and I found it just emotionally draining and impossible to even read.
What do you know about your uncle's testimony?
He was facing a 12-year sentence, for domestic violence. I learned that in exchange for a lighter sentence, he said that he had information on a murder.
So you believe he sold her down the river to get himself out of prison?
I do. He's admitted to me that he has lied about it.
I would like to mend my relationship with my sister Patricia. She blames me for her going to prison. At the time, my spelling and my reading wasn't that great. I didn't write a statement. It was recorded. The impression that I got from the detective was it wasn't implicating my sister. The statement they wrote on me was a lie.
Patricia, what do you want to say to him?
Why did you lie on me? Why did you put me in prison. Why did you do this to me?
I didn't lie. I didn't put you in prison.
I heard you in the courtroom. You lied
I denied
on
everything.
me. Just apologize. Why don't you be a man and do that?
I have nothing to apologize
I
for.
Did you get a lesser sentence in exchange for your testimony?
No, none of that, no.
So that just didn't happen.
They didn't make
Never
a deal.
happened.
They didn't make a deal with you, the DA?
I had no reason to lie on you. You're my sister. This is why I came on the Dr. Phil show today. I'll take the hits because I've been taking them for 25 years.
Are you saying that Quincy is lying?
I don't remember that conversation with Quincy.
Well, Quincy says you apologized to him and felt terrible.
I don't remember ever doing that. I don't remember ever saying I apologize for that. I don't remember saying
You don't remember saying to him that this is terrible, that you can't do 12 years, and...
No. Quincy was a kid when this trial was going on. What was he? How old was Quincy when this trial was
I'm
going
talking
on?
about after the fact.
He was a kid.
When was the conversation, Quincy?
After
When the trial went on, I was 17, 18 years old, so I wasn't too much of a kid. I had to get, the military had to send me TAD to the courtroom, so I knew definitely what was going on. And we had these conversations, I think, might have been about 21 or 22 years old.
Yeah.
It was, my mom had been in prison for a couple years.
Right. And you were clear with me that he said to you, I told them this because I couldn't put up with this. I couldn't take 12 years.
Yes.
I don't remember ever talking to Quincy about
And
this.
that he told you straight up, I lied about your mother and I'm sorry for that.
Yes, we've had that conversation because I asked him, why, this happened. I asked him questions, because I wanted to know from him, because I kept hearing, because I,
When was this conversation?
I
Where
love
was I? 'Cause I don't remember you ever asking.
No, I just wanted to know from myself, what happened, because I kept getting conflicting stories from different family members.
Where did this conversation take place?
I was at my home, and I called him on the phone. I used to call him periodically.
Yeah, but when did
we
it
talked
take place?
about his life.
I never said that. And I don't ever remember sitting down talking to you about this because I wouldn't.
Seems like you don't remember a lot of things you've said, but
When did this, explain to me when did this take place, Quincy?
this has been years, but we've had these conversations a lot.
It never happened.
We've had these
Quincy,
conversations every time that we sit there and talk. We sit there.
That is
about
not true. I got your text messages.
How you're going to try to
We
do
have
things
never
to try to
talked
help
about this trial.
Pat out. That you're going to try to do things to try to fix, the situation. That you're going to help get I'm going to help get your mom out of jail. That I'm going to recant my statements. We've had numerous
I
conversations
have never
about
had
that.
that conversation with you, Quincy.
Okay.
I have never had. When, Quincy? If someone had a conversation like that, I would know when. You can't tell me when.
So we've never.
Because it never happened.
So we never
I
talked.
don't know what you're doing.
We've never talked on the phone at all.
We never had that conversation.
So we've never talked at all?
We talked on the phone briefly about you traveling the world. You've been in the service. I encourage you. I try to be a big uncle to you.
You do.
Mostly, we just text on the phone. We have never had a conversation about the trial. I would distinctly remember not talking to you about the trial. The first person and the only person I need to talk to about the trial is the person I haven't talked to in 25 years. And that's the person sitting next to you. So stop it.
You familiar with Patricia's first grandson, Suge Knight Jr.?
I have never met him.
He's here.
I don't think I ever saw him.
You're lying. You're trying to make yourself look good. All she wants is peace. Just give her that.
And later,
Let me ask you something.
No, you don't ask me nothing. You were the smoking gun witness.
Let me ask you a question.
Unless you can apologize, don't ask me nothing.
I was 12 years old when I found out that my grandmother was doing life in prison. And I was only 1 year old when she was incarcerated. Growing up, we were very close. I wrote a lot of letters. She probably still has letters from when I was 5 years old. Every year I'll visit my grandmother. It was really difficult to leave and say goodbye to her. I didn't expect my grandmother to come home. It's really a miracle that she's out. We drove to the prison to pick her up. When I saw her walk out, I saw that dark cloud leave over my family. I have way too much experience going to see family members in jail. My father is currently serving time in prison. And my father is Suge Knight, founder of Death Row Records. He's one of the greatest music executives in hip-hop history. My dad being in prison motivated me to stay out of jail. You may see me on a show called Love and Listings on VH1.
You look just like your pops. I see and hear that a lot, right?
Yeah, man, but that song was hard, bro. You wrote that too? I'm the star of the show, and they follow my real estate career. I think my dad got a bad deal being sent to prison. I feel like his sentencing was way too harsh. There needs to be a different way of disciplining people without taking years of their life away. Now that my grandmother has a second chance at life, I want to support her fully. Her story can and should inspire others.
Ishmael, are you familiar with Patricia's first grandson, your nephew, Suge Knight Jr.?
I have never met him.
Well, he's here.
I don't think I ever saw him.
Well,
outside of a baby.
Yeah, he's here joining us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Phil, for having us. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
The first time I met you.
I know, man. You seem a bit upset. The only thing I'm confused about.
Upset. It's just that, and I'm not upset. It's just that my understanding about this show is me trying to start a relationship back with your mom. I mean, your grandmother.
You're lying. You're trying to make yourself look good. Just own up to it, bro.
I'm not trying to make myself look good at all.
Why you keep explaining?
I don't even think you were born. Were you born during this time?
Nah, bro. I'm 1 year old. But I know as a man, I admit to when I'm wrong. My grandmother did 24 whole years. You didn't serve no time. What'd you do? You can't even give Quincy the benefit of the doubt. I'm blessed to have my Uncle Quincy because he's a great uncle. I never met you, but man, I'm glad I haven't. And I wish you the best. But for right now, what's important is my grandmother. All she wants is peace. Just give her that. It ain't too hard. I don't know you, you don't know me, but I know the truth. I know what's right.
Okay.
I know. You know what I'm saying? We your family too. I don't have no ill feelings towards you. But to find peace and a solution.
Well, I don't know you, okay? I've never met you, probably because of all this. But my thing is this. Your grandmother needs to know the truth.
My grandmother knows the truth that she's an unbreakable-ass woman. Excuse my language, Dr. Phil. She's very strong.
I understand that, but
she's very strong.
Been
you know what I'm saying?
Since long before you were 1 year old?
Yeah. I know,
okay,
man.
So
all we want really is just, all she wants is just to know just some peace. That's it. Everybody so they can move on. You can't keep jumping over it and keep this. No, bro. You were the type of guy that would snitch on everybody if there was a crime, and you obviously did. You recorded the statement. Just own up to it. Just own up to it.
Tell a lie just to save your soul.
Just save yourself, bro.
Yeah, all you want is
here's my question, Ishmael. My hope is the feelings that I'm concerned about here are Patricia's feelings. She may have 3 months left in this life. She may have 4 months. She may have 6. We don't know, but we do know that she's been diagnosed as terminal. And she's quite ill. It's a real steep hill to climb for her to be here today. She can't see. She knows that her days are numbered. And she just doesn't want to leave this world without some clarity as to why she was ripped away from her family, her children, her grandchildren for a quarter of a century. And what we know, what can't be controverted, what can't be spun. No, you cannot.
Okay.
You cannot. You can listen to me right now. And to come on here yelling instead of apologizing, to me, is offensive to my sensibilities.
That's the whole purpose of me coming on to the show.
Then do it. And later...
You won't let me talk.
Because it's pathetic.
This never ends, bro.
You pathetic, bro. You are pathetic. 25 years later, you still the same pathetic liar.
What you cannot controvert is the fact that you were an instrumental player in her going to prison, whether it was your intention or whether it was by accident, whether you were manipulated, whether it was on purpose, you were an instrumental player in her going to prison. And I am shocked that you come on here yelling at her, demeaning her, talking down to her, instead of saying, look, in retrospect, I made bad choices. I let myself be used. I let myself be manipulated. Maybe you did it on purpose, and that's what you should admit. Maybe you should say, I cut a deal to save my own ass, and it was selfish, and I'm sorry. And instead of owning that, you come on here yelling and raising hell about the fact that you never did this, you never did that, you never did the other. But the result is clear. You were an instrument in putting her behind bars for a quarter of a century and stealing her life and ripping apart her family. And to come on here yelling instead of apologizing, to me, is offensive to my sensibilities. Now you can say whatever you want.
That's the whole purpose of me coming onto the show, is for the reasons you just said.
Then do it.
Well, Patricia, I'll apologize for being an instrument and the police used me. But the things that they said that I said in the statement, I never said that. And that's what I have always said. I love you. I'm your brother. I would never do those things.
That's a terrible apology. You got to be more sincere, man.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't satisfy you.
There's nothing that can really make up the time. I mean, 24 years out of her life.
Exactly.
Nothing's going to make up that time. That's the one thing you
Patricia,
can't give anybody
what did you
back
want?
is time.
Patricia, what did you want to say?
It was hard. Ishmael, it was hard in prison, you know. It was really hard in prison. I got beat up in prison. You know, even the morning that I left, I got my shoes taken away from me. They stole my shoes from me. It was hard, 24 years in there. You know, good people that's trying to get out. There's more innocent people that are convicted with no evidence, just hearsay. People that's in prison that's convicted for things like you did to me.
I'm not the only one you blame. You blame me. You blame my sister. You blame Junior.
You were in the courtroom. You testified against me.
What did you hear him say?
I heard him. He testified and he told the judge that he saw the mobile home going back and forth. And when I walked out there with the pail after I cleaned the mobile home up, I told him that he didn't see me that day before I drove away.
That is not true. I never said that.
Yeah, you told that. You said that in the courtroom, Larry. You said that, Ishmael. You said that. You said that. You
I'm
told.
telling you I didn't. And not even in court.
I listened to it. I got the tape.
Okay, well,
Attorney Ellison send me the tape.
That is not true, Pat. That is not true. If that never happened.
Oh.
You
It never
recorded
happened,
it.
Dr. Phil.
You
It's all
recorded it.
It never happened. I
You
never
said
said
it.
that.
Court of Appeals
You said
have
it.
it, all of it. So many people read
No,
that.
I did not say that. I didn't say that in trial. I didn't say that in trial.
Well, we trying to get at some
I didn't-
peace, man.
All I want is just an apology.
I understand
Just
that.
say,
And that's the whole
Ishmael,
purpose of me being on the
I
show.
see I'm not
It's
going to
for
get
peace.
anywhere with you. You know, I served
It's not about
24
getting anywhere,
years.
but I'm
It's
not going to
okay.
sit here and say and admit to something that I did not say.
Is there anything that you said in the courtroom that you wish you didn't say?
I wish I wasn't involved to begin with.
I wish you wouldn't either. I wouldn't have done 24 years in prison.
Is there anything that you said in the courtroom that you wish you didn't say?
Well, to be honest with you, I wish I wasn't involved to begin with.
I wish you wouldn't either. I wouldn't have done 24 years in prison.
If this is the last time that you ever speak to your sister, is there anything you want to say to her? If she passes before you ever speak to her again, is there anything you want to say to her?
Yes. Is that I love you. I would never do anything to hurt you. I wanted to take this opportunity to be on a Dr. Phil's show to explain to you that I didn't say those things that they said I said. It all was lies.
Okay, Ishmael, go ahead. What about the tapes that you made? Those cassette tapes.
The tapes that I made, what do you mean the tapes that I made?
Those cassette tapes.
The statement was recorded. The statement was recorded, and he written it down. What was recorded did not incriminate you at all. I told them how my life was with you, which was, I was a teenager back then. I didn't see anything wrong. We had a pretty normal life. And no, I don't think my sister killed her husband. That's what the tape says. That's what the tape says. And when I got to trial, and they read the letter, just like I've been saying the whole show, I didn't say those things.
Okay.
And that's why I'm here today. I'm not here today to make myself out to be a nice guy or out to be,
Excuse me. I'm talking about me doing 24 years in prison. That's what the show was all about. Me doing 24 years in prison, away from my children, away from my life. This is what we on the show about.
Can you give me that letter? Because you guys are not letting me talk to prove anything. You saying you never wrote me a letter.
I'm not talking about anybody writing a letter. I'm talking about 1997, 1998. Damn that. I'm talking about 1997, 1998. I'm talking about Patricia going to prison for something she did not do.
And that's your sister that you can't own up to.
It never is.
Send yourself to school.
Stop.
Bought you a car. Put money in your pocket every day.
Yeah, so, okay.
Have you ever thanked me for that?
I wouldn't want to do anything.
Make sure you didn't go on to games and do drugs and taking care of you.
So you're making me out to be the person, so I'm the person that put you in jail?
Who taking care of you?
What was it,
They labeled you.
witnesses?
I'm talking. Who labeled you at my trial the smoking gun witness? Why they make you the little smoking gun witness? You were the only one they labeled that. The smoking gun.
27 witnesses.
Yeah, you were the smoking gun witness.
Let me ask you something.
No, you don't ask me nothing. You were the smoking gun witness. Now you a rabbi now.
Let me ask you a question.
You don't ask me nothing. Unless you can apologize, don't ask me nothing.
I did. And you won't let me talk.
Because it's pathetic.
This never ends.
You pathetic, bro. You are pathetic. I never met you, and I'm glad I never met you. You are pathetic. I'm not disrespecting my uncle, but man, my uncle right here, he served his country. He out here pouring his heart out, and you out here you too involving yourself. You can't see anything else. You don't want to be wrong.
I hope my son.
It ain't no growth about you.
The whole purpose for me coming on the show to tell my side of the story.
You coming on the show was for us to give you an opportunity, bro. You ain't bringing nothing valuable to the show. I'm sorry, Dr. Phil, to yell like this on your show, man. I respect you a whole lot. But 25 years later, you still the same pathetic liar.
I'm going to say a mishabera for you tonight.
Prayer for you, bro. We don't care.
Let me ask you something.
So I guess the show is just about disrespect me, right?
No, it's about being a man and owning up to something. Apologizing to your sister. If we really your family, you will do that.
The co-defendant admitted to the murder and said you were a part of it. You don't think that had anything to do with you?
Do you believe that your sister killed her ex-husband?
No.
You believe
I never said I did.
Do you believe she had anything to do with it?
No, but it was two of them convicted. It was my sister and her friend, Larry Slaughter, was convicted of this murder. It was two trials, and they were both convicted.
Do you believe
my understanding?
Do you believe she had anything to do with it?
No, I don't, and I always told the police that.
Do you believe she should have spent 24 years in prison?
Absolutely not. No way. Not at all. And I'm sorry that happened, but I don't believe she deserved that. No, I don't. I never said anything different.
Are you sorry for any role that you played in that?
Absolutely 1,000%.
Why didn't you try to do anything to help me? You didn't go back and talk to the detectives? You didn't say, oh, this is all wrong.
I said it in trial. I said that in trial on record in front of the judge, in front of you and the judge. But what about what Larry Slaughter said?
What about you?
Your co-defendant. What about what Larry Slaughter, the co-defendant? The co-defendant admitted to the murder and said you were a part of it. You don't think that had anything to do with you?
What?
Do they know that? The co-defendant, Larry Slaughter, your co-defendant, said that you and him did do the murder.
That's a show.
Is there anything that you want to say to your sister that you haven't had the opportunity to say before we have to stop here? I want to give you the floor uninterrupted. Is there anything you want to say to your sister? You may never speak to her again in this life. Is there anything you want to say to your sister before we have to end here?
Yes, there is something I want to say. I want to say, Patricia, I do love you. I'm your brother. I didn't do those things that they said I done. I hope you could find it in your heart and understand. I'm sorry the way you feel. I am sorry for the time you spent in jail. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But you have to understand something, that in the trial, I completely told the judge that those statements was a lie. And I said that in front of you. I've never said anything different. There were 27 people that testified in the trial. I'm not the only family members. Other sister, brother, and nephew testified in the trial as well. And we all gave testimony to your credibility. Also, your co-defender, Larry Slaughter, who wrote a letter and admit that, saying that you and him did kill your husband. And that had a lot bearing on it. By him saying that and admit to it, he got life without the possibility of parole.
I'm going to interrupt you. He did that for television. They paid him to do that. What you're saying is false. You're lying. I listened to you at my trial. I listened to you testify against me at my trial. I was very much awake.
That is not true.
I listened to you.
Have any
I have the transcripts.
You have something right
Thank
now.
you.
Read it right now, because that's not true. Listen, I understand you're upset. I know that. I would be too.
I'm
but
not
at the
upset.
Same time, well, I don't know how you feel, but I don't see no good feeling.
Dr. Phil,
Okay?
Ishmael has lied all his life. He has no intentions on apologizing.
I just did.
What he's saying is false.
I am sorry. I apologize. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. But I have never said anything wrong to anybody about you.
You're going to be a forever prisoner to that, bro.
Okay? I could be a prisoner. It's the truth. I'm okay with the truth.
We know.
My understanding is the governor granted an order, executive order, and let my sister out. Under impossible circumstance, she got out from a conviction of life without the possibility of parole.
Yeah.
If I got out under those circumstances, the last thing I'll be spending my last days is trying to destroy my brother. I will be happy and say my prayers every day that I made it out from being convicted of life without the possibility of parole for the murder for hire of my husband. That's the reason.
I gave you the opportunity to speak to her, what will probably be your last time, and I'm really, really sorry that you spent it the way you did, yelling and making it about you instead of giving a gift to her, which you could have compassionately done. And
what more do you want me to do? I'm not going to sit here and tell a lie. I apologize. I said I'm sorry. You know, what more can I do? I can't say I did something that I did not do.
Okay.
You know, I'm sorry my sister spent that time in prison. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I love my sister. I love my nephews. I love my family.
Thank you for giving us the time that you gave us today, because I know you didn't have to do this, and you did, and for that, I very much thank you and appreciate it. We do have to stop and move on. Coming up, Patricia told my producers that she suffered some very serious domestic violence issues in her past, and I want to add Robin to the conversation when we come back.
Once my son Quincy was born, that's when the domestic violence started. My husband accused me of cheating on him. One Saturday afternoon, he walked into our den with my gun and started shooting. The bullet hit my elbow, and the second one hit my stomach. I recovered, but my unborn daughter died later. Jerome confessed to my sister that he shot me. A police report was made, but he was never arrested. After that, I left him and never went back home.
Well, I've been talking this hour with Patricia, who was recently released from prison by Governor Newsom after serving 24 years in prison for the killing of her ex-husband. Now, it was the court's decision that she killed her ex-husband. I don't think she killed her ex-husband. I don't think she had anything to do with the death of her ex-husband. She, her son Quincy, and her grandson Shug were trying to get answers from her brother Ishmael, who she says testified against her during her trial years ago. Now, I'd like to introduce my wife Robin, founder of the organization When Georgia Smiled, which creates and advances programs to help victims of domestic violence. She created the Aspire app, voted on Capitol Hill as one of the very best apps out there for domestic violence prevention. She is really an ambassador for all survivors, victims, those that are caught in this trap. And the thing is that domestic violence takes a lot of different forms. And, you know, Patricia, you are a survivor, and Robin, I've been watching you. You see such strength and steel in this woman. I've just watched you admire her through this whole thing.
Yes. First, I would love to say to Patricia, I see you as a beautiful example of the power of a woman, the strength of a woman. You have endured so much, but you sat there today, and you were just a beautiful, strong example of the strength of a woman. And it has been an honor to be in your presence today.
Thank you, Ms. Robin.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know,
Wow.
the one that should have had such indignation about all of this, and if anybody deserved to be yelling and screaming and indignant, that would be you.
Yes.
But instead, it was her brother.
Yes.
Which, you know, again, is testimony to her demeanor and her personality through all of this. You said you've spent a lot of years with hatred and resentment towards him. There's tremendous power in forgiveness.
Yes, it is.
There truly is tremendous power in forgiveness. And I've always looked at it like if you have hatred and resentment towards someone, it's like you're locked in a bond with them, a struggle with them, and until you just decide to just let it go.
Yes.
And then you're free. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how much time any of us have left in this world, you, me, anyone, but you don't want to spend the rest of your life with bitterness and hatred towards him.
I want to be free, Dr. Phil.
You got to let it go. You've got to forgive him. I mean, God will deal with him, but you got to let that go, as hard as that is. You got to forgive him. You have the right to peace and harmony for the rest of your life. And you have the power to claim that. And, you know, Robin says you've got to put yourself number one, and that's not a selfish thing to do.
You know, I have a saying that I use a lot of times that I really, really think applies here. for you. And I never knew how strong I was until I chose to forgive someone who wasn't sorry and accept an apology that was never given. And I think that really applies for you today. You can accept his apology. You can forgive him. It doesn't matter what he says and what he gives you. It's your right to be strong enough to choose to forgive and forget, and then be the strong woman that you are, and move forward and be happy with your life and live and give to yourself and celebrate who you are. It's nothing to do with him.
Thank you, Miss Robin. I like that.
I have more to say to my guests when we come back. Quincy, what do you want for Patricia the rest of her life?
I remember her being in prison. We always talked because since I've gotten out of the military, all I do is travel. I got an RV, and I just started seeing the United States here. And she always said, I want to come travel with you. And I said, Mommy, I want to buy a boat and, and stay at a marina. I'll take you out sailing. So that's my goal. I want to be able to take her out and to see some places. That's a goal that I have. Once I'm able to get enough money together, buy the boat that I want, and I want to take my mom sailing, and I want her to spend the rest of her life, seeing the world, taking her as many places as I can. I've lost out on my entire adult life, without my mother, so I just want to spend the time that she has left with us being able to see something positive.
How terrific is that?
Yeah.
How terrific is that? And by the way, thank you for your service as well.
Thank you, Dr. Phil.
All right.
And thank you, Miss Robin. Thank you so much.
And Shug, what do you want for Patricia?
Sure, I'm ready. We already hit the road. She just got out of jail, and now she on the Dr. Phil show. It's time to keep going. It's time for my grandmother to keep
He's going to help me with my book as well.
We're going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, unbreakable woman.
Well, I'm just very, very happy that you're surrounded by such loving, giving family members, and I pray that everything happens exactly as it should. I have total confidence in Philip that he's going to do everything he can to help you, and I'm here for you. If there's ever anything I can do for you, I admire you so much.
Thank you.
And I pray for you, and so, yes, both of us are here for you, and God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
We started a GoFundMe. We're trying to get our family home back.
Well, we will find out exactly what it's under, and we'll make sure that's part of this.
Okay.
Okay? And how much are you trying to?
It's just enough to get my house back.
And how much is that?
My daughter, Misty, she's out there. She can tell you more about it. I don't know about all these internet, these telephone things.
You don't know about all this technology stuff?
We do it one thing at a time.
All right, well, we'll find out. We'll make all of that. We'll get all the specifics. We'll make it part of the show, so make it easy for people to find.
Okay.
Because my viewers tend to respond to these things.
Thank you, Dr. Phil, so much.
All right, we'll be all over that. All right, I want to thank all of my guests today. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Don't forget to check me out on my social media outlets. You can find me wherever, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever. Also, check out Robin's podcast. I've got a secret where she shares great tips, tricks, secrets with her audience. You don't want to miss it. They have some great conversations. We'll see you next time. You stay safe.
If you would like to be a part of our virtual audience and you have a computer with a camera, log on to drphil.com and click Be Part of the Audience.
Hi, Dr. Phil. Since the show, I've been adjusting. I've been enjoying my children, my 5 heartbeats. After speaking with Ishmael, I see that he's still in bondage. I'm free. I feel that my brother has not changed his old ways. Since the show, I have not spoken with Ishmael, and I don't see a need to speak with him. I've gone on with my life. With the time that God has given me, I'm working on my book, and I have started a nonprofit organization to help women in prison. My plans for the future is for longevity in life, just so I can live as long as I can with my children and my grandchildren, to spend our first holidays together. 5 days a week, I watch Dr. Phil's show, and it was like a dream come true when I was told that Dr. Phil wanted me to come on his show. I couldn't see his face, but I can hear his voice. I thank you, Dr. Phil, and his wife for what they did for me to give me a platform to tell the world what happened. I thank you so much.